They're an iconic franchise for the first few years in the league, but the way they ended wasn't a positive for Major League Baseball and kind of put the team in a humiliating light that they shouldn't have been in the first place. To me, I consider this one of the marquee teams of the late 19th century. And the Cleveland Spiders, to me, were a heroic team for a lot of reasons, mainly because Cy Young was part of that. Now, the Spiders were an American pro baseball team based in Cleveland. They competed at Major League level from 87 to 99, first for 2 seasons as a member of the now defunct American Association, followed by 11 campaigns in the National League. Early names for the squad included the Forest Cities and Blues. The name Spiders itself emerged early in the team's inaugural NL season of 1889, owing to the new black and gray uniforms and the skinny, long-limbed look of many players, thereby evoking the Spider comparison. National League Park serves as the squad's home for its first 4 seasons until the opening of League Park in 1891. Amid 7 straight winning seasons under manager Patsy Tebow, the team finished second in the NL 3 times in 92, 95, and 96. While the Spiders never won the NL pennant, the club did win the 1895 Temple Cup, a 2-team league titles playoff predating the World Series. The Spiders bet that year's pennant winner, the Orioles, unrelated to the modern franchise, 4 games to 1 in the best of 7-game series. 6 Spiders players were later inducted in the National Baseball Hall of Fame, including the great left fielder Jesse Burkett and Cy Young. Now, in 1899, owners Frank and Stanley Robinson purchased a second team, the bankrupt St. Louis NL franchise, and sent all the Spiders' top talent to that club, including future Hall of Famers Young, Burkett, and Bobby Wallace. The resulting Spiders roster finished the 1899 season 20 and 134, a record which remains the worst for a single season in Major League history. The Spiders were subsequently one of 4 teams contracted by the National League that year, partly in response to Robinson's brothers' actions, which effectively ended the Spiders franchise. The practice of syndicate ownership was later banned. Now, Spiders outfielder Louis Alexis played for the team during its final 3 seasons and is often credited as the first Native American to play Major League Baseball. The Cleveland Guardians, Major League successor to the Spiders in Cleveland, have long cited Alexis as the inspiration for the controversial former team name Indians, though that claim is disputed. Now, using warrior motifs for names, you got Redskins, different different connotations. It was seen as a tribute, but like I said, they never sought approval from any First Nation to use that name, and that's why people are contracting a name across North America. Not done yet. Now, the Spiders again were the first pro baseball franchise based in Cleveland. The first team, Forest City, which played from 1870 to 72, was initially an independent team before joining the National Association of Professional Baseball Players for 2 seasons before disbanding. They were followed in 1879 by the city's first National League team, the Cleveland Blues, which folded after the 1884 season. Now, after the 1886 season, the Pittsburgh Alleghenies left the AA to join the National League. The AA, then considered a major league, chose the Cleveland group, headed by Frank Robinson, as an expansion team to begin play in 1887 over proposals from Kansas City and Detroit. Later, Robinson's brother Stanley was added to the ownership group. Initially, the squad was known as the Four Cities, drawing on the city's nickname, and the nickname had been used on the city's 2 previous pro baseball squads. The nickname Blues was also used again in reference to their team uniforms. The Four Cities were a weak team in their early years. Now, in 1889, they moved to the National League and became the Spiders, reportedly after comments from a team executive assessing the players. Frank A. Brunel, the team's executive, who also doubled as a sports writer for the Plain Dealer, no conflict there, noted the combination of the team's new black and gray uniforms, together with the sight of several skinny, long-limbed players. He joked the team should be called Spiders, and the name stuck. The team started to improve in 1891, largely due to the signing of future Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Cy Young, who was thin as well. The Spiders had their first taste of success in 1892 when he finished 93 and 56, winning the second half by 3 games over Boston with a 53-23 count. Other than standout second baseman, the greatly named Cupid Childs, the Spiders had an unremarkable offense. Their success in 1892 was built on pitching. Young was the NL's most dominant hurler, and 22-year-old George Cuppy had an outstanding rookie year. Following the season, a World Championship Series exhibition was played between Cleveland and the first half winner Boston Beaneaters, but the Spiders could only muster one tie in 6 games. In 1895, the Spiders again finished second, this time to equally rough and tumble Baltimore Orioles, not the current incarnation. Young again led the league in wins, and speedy left fielder Jesse Burkett won the batting title with a 4.09 average. Now, published reports said he hit as high maybe as 4.13, but like I said, that's been lost in the midst of time. The Spiders did win the Temple Cup, an 1890s postseason series between the first and second place holders in the AL. Amid fan rowdyism and garbage trolling, which was publicized quite heavily in all the major dailies, the Spiders won 4 or 5 games against Baltimore, including 2 wins for Cy Young. I guess garbage that was thrown included a piece of coal at the pitchers and the fielders. I kid you not. And Cleveland's known to be a rough place since then. Now, the 1895 title series was the high mark for the franchise. The following season, Baltimore and Cleveland again finished first and second in the AL, but in the battle for the Temple Cup, the second-place Spiders were swept 4 straight. In 1997, despite a winning record, the franchise finished 5th, a season highlighting by Young throwing the first of career no-hitters on September 18th. The Spiders again finished 5th in 1898. Now, the 1899 season again, terrible. The Spiders owners, the Robinson brothers, bought the Browns out of bankruptcy and changed their name to the Perfectos. However, they kept the Spiders as well, a blatant conflict of interest. Believing the Perfectos would draw greater attendance in more densely populated St. Louis, the Robinsons transferred most of the Cleveland players, including Hall of Famer Young, Burkett, and Bobby Wallace, to St. Louis. They also shifted a large number of Cleveland home games to the road. For instance, the original opening day game was shifted to St. Louis. With a decimated and somewhat inexperienced roster, the Spiders made a wretched showing. They finished with a dismal 20-134 record, the worst in LBB history, 84 games behind the pennant-winning Brooklyn Superbas, and 35 games behind the next to last Washington Senators. Their batting records were the worst in the league in runs, hits, doubles, triples, home runs, walks, stolen bases, on-base percentage, and slugging. Now, the Robsons announced after buying the Perfectos that they intended to run the Spiders as a sideshow, and Cleveland fans apparently took them at their word. The Spiders' first 18 home games drew a total of 3,179 fans, or an average of 200 per contest. Now, due to those meager attendance figures, the other 11 NL teams refused to come to League Park, as their cut of the revenue from ticket sales did not even begin to cover their hotel and travel expenses. The Spiders were then forced to play 85 of their remaining 93 games on the road. Counting the large number of home games that had been shifted to the road earlier in the season, they only played 42 home games during the campaign, including 8 after July 1st, and finished 9-33 at home and 11-101 on the road. Only 6,000 fans paid to attend Spiders home games in 1899 for a pitiful average of a mere 145 spectators per game in 9,000-seat League Park. The 101 road losses is a major league record that will never be threatened, as current scheduling practices have teams play a maximum of 81 away games, including 1 or 3 game playoffs. The team's longest winning streak of the season was 2, which they accomplished only once on May 20th and 21st. Spiders' opponents scored 10 or more runs 49 times in 154 games. Pitchers Jim Yulee at 4-30 and Charlie Nepper at 4-22 tied for the team lead in wins. Now the 62 New York Mets, 40-20 at 250, and the 2003 Detroit Tigers, 43-119, 265 win percentage, own the modern records in the respective leagues for the most losses, but thus drew frequent comparisons to the Spiders for futility. Now, the Robinsons' decision to effectively reduce the Spiders to minor league status, along with other intra-league ratings such as that conducted by the Dodgers and to a lesser extent the Pirates, unwittingly helped pave the way to the National League's loss of its major league monopoly. The 12th place Spiders, one of 4 teams, contracted out of the NL by the end of the 1899 season. The others were the Senators, the 9th place Louisville Colonels, and the bankrupt 4th place Baltimore Orioles. The 1899 fiasco played a major role in the league's passing a rule which barred one person for owning controlling interests in 2 clubs. Now, the Robsons sold the assets of Spiders teams to Charles Summers and John Kilfoyle in 1900. In 1900, the then minor American League, previously the Western League, fielded a team called the Cleveland Lakeshores. In 1901, after the American League declared Major League status, the team was called the Cleveland Blues, eventually the Indians and now the Guardians. Now, the Guardians have long claimed Spiders outfielder Lou Sockalexis as the inspiration for the controversial former team name the Indians, in use from 15 to 2021. He played 3 campaigns for the Spiders from 87 to 99, and again is often credited as the first Aboriginal to play pro baseball at a major league level. During his time with the Spiders, the press often referred to the team as Indians or Tebow's Indians. The Guardians' claim has been disputed, however, including in a 2012 Cleveland Scene essay, The Curse of Chief Wahoo, which argues the organization cited Sockalexis in part to justify use of the Indians' name. Now, the Cleveland Spiders in the Hall of Fame: Jesse Burkett, John Clarkson, George Davis, Buck Ewing, Bobby Wallace, and Cy Young, and a very, like I said, a very, very interesting time in baseball. Now, according to baseballreference.com, the franchise history puts it together. But we're going to look at the 1899 season just in passing because we want to let you know exactly what happened. To my estimation, he only won 1 game in the last 3 months of the season. Now, the big hitter on the team was Tommy Dowd, who batted .278, and Joe Quinn, who batted .286. Now, only according to the stats here, he only hit, I think it was 12 home runs in the season, with Dowd getting 2. RBI leader actually was Joe Quinn, who had 72 with 22 stolen bases, only struck out 10 times. So with 176 hits, 73 runs scored, so not too bad to go. But the pitching, ladies and gentlemen, scary. Jim Huey, 4-30. Charlie Nepper, I wonder if there's any relation to Bob, 4-22. Frank Bates, 1-18. Crazy Schmidt, 2-17. I don't know if these names are real, but I have to say what's here. Harry Cauliflower, 1-11. Willie Sudoff, 3-8. Ken Carsey, 1-8. Bill Hill, 3-6. Jack Stivitz, 0-4. Jack Harper, 1-4. Harry Maupin, 0-3. Sport McAllister, and 1 game each. Howard Wilson, Eddie Kolb, and Harry Lockhead only played 1 contest each. So take it as you will, ladies and gentlemen. But let's look at the ERA. The Harry Cauliflower, again, one of my favorite names. 1-11, 12 games started, 2 games. He had 11 complete games, and an ERA of 8.17. So the short career with the Spiders of Harry Cauliflower. So, ladies and gentlemen, we make fun of that, but Cleveland has always been important in baseball history in many, many ways. The aspects of the fact collusion always leads to negativity. And the idea of baseball, no owner should own 2 teams. It's hard enough that an owner owns all the minor league teams as well. I basically believe that the ownership group for the minor league teams should not be directly controlled by the owner. There should be a cooperative approach or a co-op approach in player development, in my personal opinion. So take it as you will. Should be more like hockey. So that's the story about the Cleveland Spiders, not just the 1899 season. And every time I take the Cleveland Spiders when I was growing up, it was I had once did a sports kind of essay for my local school. You could do that back in the day, not book report. I said the original Spiders, Cy Young, because everybody, a lot of people were considering using the word Spiders in New Brunswick back in the day as team names, but the problem is how do you make a spider look good? You can't. All you can do is red and black, pretty much, because you don't see any yellow spiders, as popular. So it is what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're doing with our historical podcast on late 19th century baseball, especially the 1880s and 1890s, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share. If you're just a recent follower of the channel, just to tell you what's going on, we do movie podcasts, TV podcasts, news podcasts, obituaries, sports, and all different categories. So it depends what I'm into that week or the requests we get. And if it's a non-sports request, please let us know what you like to do within reason. I don't do anything too one-sided. I try to look at both sides of every issue, and only few things I don't cover here in the channel. You can pretty well figure it out. We're here for fun, not to live in the crazy left-wing, right-wing cult reality of 2024. This is purely historical, and it's for you, the listener, whether you like it. If you like it, just stay. If you don't like it, don't let the door hit your ass. Have a good one. Bye.